Hey, what's up, friends? Welcome to Chaos Live. I'm back in my normal environment here in Colorado. It's my first live stream since being back in Colorado from being in Texas for 2 weeks. It was fun, but it's always good to be back in my normal set. Of course, I've already actually done a main video from this normal kind of environment, but back here for the first Chaos Live with my normal desk setup and my normal computer, not trying to use the crummy Wi-Fi for the hotel. So got a couple topics over this way. I'll talk about a little MOS showcase video kind of series that I might do, Chaos Mail, some free stickers maybe, and some Q&A as always, like we usually do. So what's up? Welcome to the live stream. Thank you, BitExpert, for being the very first one to join the chat. What's up, Paul? How's it going? Andrew, he was the third one, so awesome. We got Taylor, what's happening, and Caleb. So thank you guys so much for joining in for Chaos Live and being the first ones to at least say something in the chats, and that's always awesome. So it's good to know that there's somebody on the other end of this camera lens out there to say hi. So what's up, Silver? So let's talk about, I guess, some of the first one we'll talk about here, the MOS Showcase. So I thought it might be cool to maybe start doing a little series where I could try to showcase one specific MOS. So, for example, like I was an 88 Mike in the Army, which is a motor transportation operator, truck driver, and I thought it'd be cool to do all the different MOSs, you know, try to get people that I know that are in different MOSs, recruit people out there through mutual friends to, you know, talk about, you know, their experience with that MOS and be able to give someone a little bit better perspective to that MOS. So like me, I would give, you know, probably on 88 Mike, although I went to AIT back in 2000, or no, actually 1999 when I went to AIT, and AIT has changed a little bit from 88 Mike back then to 88 Mike AIT now. So I'll have to get a little bit of updated information on that. I know it's now, I thought it was 10 weeks, but I was talking to somebody just today who's 88 Mike, and they're saying it's only 6 weeks. When I went through 88 Mike AIT, it was 5 weeks. Now it's only 1 extra week, and that's because they added the LHS vehicle. So they do, really, that's the only thing extra, it sounds like, compared to what I did back in 1999. So I think it'd be kind of cool to highlight different MOSs and give you some kind of perspective from someone who was actually in that MOS. Most of my other videos, I do like a lot of research, and because I was in the military, I understand what it's talking about, so I can give you my perspective and my thoughts on, you know, this topic to help you out. But with NMOS, I think it's better to, you know, get some actual, you know, opinions from someone who did that job in the Army. So they would go, I would do a video with that person, and they would talk about, you know, what it's like, the day-to-day life in that MOS, what their job really entails, you know, when they're not deployed and when they are deployed, what AIT was like, and all that kind of fun stuff. So we'll work on that. I'm guessing maybe it'll be called MOS Showcase. I don't know if that's the name I'll keep it with, but maybe something kind of along those lines with its name. So we'll work on that. So that's the first topic that we have for Chaos Live. A lot of the stuff will come from you guys. If you guys have questions, feel free to leave them in the chat, and we'll talk about stuff inside the chat and all that fun stuff. So Mike, what's happening? So glad I found your channel. I'm so glad you found my channel too, because I always love meeting new people and love hearing great stories about how people enjoy my content. That's really what I want to do. I'm not trying to make it rich and famous. Those are awesome, of course, but my #1 goal is entertaining people and helping them out in whatever way I can. So it's awesome. Hey, Chris, hope you have a great time. Happy you had a great time in Texas. My question is, when you are in the Army, is it easy to transfer to a different job? I wouldn't necessarily say it's easy, but it's not really hard either, because based on your ASVAB scores for your GT score will determine being able to transfer jobs and MOSs, and you won't be able to do it right away. So if you go and you join the Army and you've only been doing your MOS for like a year, you're not going to be able to transfer just yet. You're going to have to wait until your initial contract is coming up toward the end, usually about a year out from your contract. Then you'll be eligible to reclass, and that's what it's called, is reclassing. And you would want to look into options as far as, you know, what to reclass. So you'd be able to change MOSs, change jobs, go to the AIT for that school, and then, you know, fulfill the next part of your contract in that MOS if it's available. So that's always part of the process as well. So it's not necessarily hard, but it's not necessarily easy to transfer jobs, and you won't be able to do it like right away. The MOS Showcase sounds like a wonderful idea, and I will sure to watch it. Well, then thank you, man. Hopefully it'll be entertaining. Hey Chris, what is it like being in a cav unit? It's not, I don't know if it's a whole lot different from like a regular unit. I feel like they try to make it a lot cooler. You know, you'll do different things. Like, you know, you wear a Stetson. It's kind of like a fancy cowboy hat. Some people, if you're authorized, will wear spurs. Usually those are either one, you've done a spur ride, or you've been to combat with that unit. Then you wear spurs. And so, like, I had spurs because I went to combat with the unit. I didn't want to do a spur ride. Spur ride's like this high speed, like, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to do a video on it at some point in time. But I don't know. I mean, and then... I don't know. I mean, you're going to work with scouts, so you're going to have Bradleys usually in a cav unit for most of the part. I don't know how to explain the difference between a regular unit and a cav unit as far as how it... I mean, it's got some different little perks. You know, you have, instead of a company, it's a troop, and so you have a little bit different lingo. And I don't know. It's interesting, that's for sure. Bit expert, obviously, I'm guessing you like the idea of the MOS showcase, so awesome. Hey, Chris, I'm in ROTC high school. This summer I'm going to JCL, text is really small, sorry, JROTC Cadet Leadership College. It's like boot camp for high school. Well, awesome, Caleb. Good luck in that. The nice thing about that, too, is if you have your eyes set on, you know, joining the Army afterwards, after you graduate high school, or if you plan on going to college first, it just depends. But if you plan on going in as an enlisted, then you can probably come in as a private first class because of your JROTC time frame or experience. But if you want to go and be an officer, then you have to go to college, and your JROTC really doesn't really count for that much when you're trying to become an officer, though. But from the enlisted side, if you do want to stick to enlisted, it'll probably help you get to PFC right off the bat. Love to get a free sticker to put on my phone. They're kind of big. Hang on, I'll grab one. I have them over here. They're kind of large. I mean, you figure the size of my hand. So it'd be kind of hard to... You can maybe put on a phone. Like I have a little pop socket on the back of my phone. So maybe you could fit it on a... This is an iPhone 10, by the way. iPhone X. So I guess you could kind of fit it on the back of a phone, I guess. You know, if you have a smaller phone than iPhone X, then probably not. But if you have a bigger phone or the same size phone, then you probably could. In a minute, I'll talk about how you guys can score a free one of these. Pretty much free, basically free. I'll talk about it in a minute, but while supplies last, and then we'll see how things go from there. But I'll talk about that in a little bit. You should do one on 19 Delta Cav Scout. I can. I know plenty of scouts, so I could easily do... That'll probably be one of them. I'll probably do 88 Mike for me. I know I'll do 11 Bravo. If you guys have seen the previous live, or not the last one, but the one before of Chaos Live, while I was in Texas with David, probably have, you know, David help me out for 11 Bravo. And then I probably do 19 Delta. I don't know. I don't know what anyone else I could do. Mechanic I could probably do. I know some mechanics. I don't know. We'll find out. I'll network some people. Plus I have friends that have other friends that were veterans or currently in the Army. So we'll be able to get some cool stuff. So it'll be cool. What do you think about the new Air Force uniforms? I don't think I've actually seen them. So I'll have to maybe check that out. I don't know if I've seen the new Air Force uniforms. I'll have to Google that later, maybe check them out. Interesting. What's up, T-Dog? How's it going? Hey, Chris, my question is, how would you transfer from reserves to active duty? Usually that's fairly simple. If you're in the reserves and you would talk to each unit has usually a career counselor, and you would tell them, hey, I'm looking to switch to active duty. That's usually not too difficult. I know a couple people that have done that. It's a little hard. It's a lot harder to go and say, be active duty and then decide to go to reserves. That usually requires you to re-enlist for that, so you have to wait for your contract being up. But a lot of times there's opportunities to go from being reserve to go active, so it's a little bit easier. You would talk to the career counselor that's assigned to your unit and tell them that you're interested in going active, and they usually are able to hook something up to be able to allow you to go active. So it's usually not too bad of a process. How do you get your boots at boot camp? I was told to bring my own shoes, but I know nothing about the boots. Is there a model I should prepare for? May I break them in ahead of time? Do I need something? But well, with boots, you're gonna be issued boots. The only thing I don't remember if they still do it that way. You're gonna need running shoes, though. Running shoes would be something maybe you bring, but I can't remember if you bring running shoes or if they make you buy them when you get there. I don't really remember if that's how it works anymore. Usually it'll come, you'll have some information from like your recruiter as you're going through the process, where the recruiter will either tell you to go buy a pair of authorized running shoes. And he'll explain the guidelines for running shoes, but basically they have to be actual running shoes. They can't be cross trainers. They can't be basketball shoes, all that kind of stuff. And they shouldn't be like, well, yeah, they should definitely not basic training. There shouldn't be some kind of crazy like neon green or anything like that. You can maybe get away with it when you get your main unit, but I wouldn't, try my chances in basic. But usually your running shoes are really the ones you'd have to buy or bring with you at the time. Your boots, those are going to get issued to you. When you get issued your uniforms, your boots will get issued with you. And so you won't be able to break them in ahead of time. You're going to have them, everybody's be sore for a little bit until you get your boots broke in. So it's a pain, but no, you'll get your boots issued to you when you get there, when you get your uniforms issued and everything like that. Let's see. I'm still happy that I've been able to watch your videos, and I'm still surprised you followed me on Twitter. Oh, awesome. I'm glad. I don't use Twitter a whole lot. A lot of times the stuff that's coming from Twitter is automatically posted from my Instagram, because I think I use Instagram more than I use Twitter, really. But it kind of seems really the same, because the stuff coming from my Instagram is going to my Twitter. So it may look like really about the same, but really I'm using Instagram more than I am on Twitter. But I do like to surf Twitter occasionally and look through it. It's, it's okay. I'm not a super big fan of Twitter though, but thank you for following me on Twitter. And if any of you would like to do the same thing, it's over that way. All my little social media links up there. Plus I have them down in the description as well. But it's pretty much ThatChrisChaos. I try to keep the same tag for everything on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Snapchat. It's all ThatChrisChaos. You should try to use that same kind of handle for that kind of a thing. So if I get one, it's going on my car. That's a great spot for these Chaos stickers. I have one on my car. Jessie has one on her car. That one, it was actually a military friend of mine that found that Chaos bag in Texas. He put it on his truck. I don't know if anybody else, if they have them on their vehicles. There's only a handful, a couple of people that have Chaos stickers out there right now, but that'll hopefully change here soon. I'll tell you guys about it here in a minute, how you can score a free one. Essentially free, mostly free. Let's see. I hope you make it, man. I really wish the most success. Thank you. Thank you. Are you talking about making it on YouTube, or are you talking about making it for, you're talking about the series I was talking about earlier? Either way, thank you. What was your favorite division in the Army? Mine's the 1st Division. I don't know if I have a favorite anything really. I mean, as far as unit I was actually in, I liked my unit in Korea, but it was because it was a really small unit, so you had a really good kind of bond with everybody. That was the Joint Security Area, Camp Boniface, and right on the border of North and South Korea. I don't know if there's Army guys there anymore, but that one was pretty cool. You had a really cool bond with everybody because we were such a small unit. Well, they're not really small, but you worked kind of in small groups, so it was kind of a good bond, I guess you could say. So it was pretty cool. The uniforms are new to the Air Force. They are switching to the OCEP uniform. Oh, interesting. So it'll look fairly similar to the Army ones then, I'm assuming. It'll be interesting looking. See how that looks. Hey man, I'm homeschooled. Do you know if that'll affect my enlistment? No. As long as, I don't know how homeschooling really works too well, but as long as you have, I'd imagine as long as it's like an accredited thing to where you're going to get some kind of high school diploma. I don't know how homeschooling works. I'm sure you get some kind of thing, some kind of high school diploma equivalent, if not an actual high school diploma. As long as you have that, you'll be fine. You're going to have to do the ASVAB a little bit differently to be able to get in, because like at a school, usually recruiters will come to the school to administer ASVABs, where you're going to have to just talk to a recruiter to see about taking the ASVAB to qualify for the Army and see how you place for your MOS that you want to try to get and everything. But as long as you have something, some kind of documentation that's equivalent to a high school diploma, even people can join the Army with GEDs. So, as long as you have that, you should be fine. That's the only thing that's probably going to be the offsetting difference, is that you're not going to be able to take the ASVAB in high school. You have to go to a recruiter to do it, which is fine. It's still the same test. You just, it's just administered in a different way, but it's still all right. I personally like the new retro uniforms that the Army is bringing out. It reminds me of the GI in World War II in Korea. Yeah, that was from Andrew. Yeah, I like the the pinks and greens, if they actually bring them in. And I've talked about it before, but I know in the video I talk about how I thought that they were replacing the dress blues with the pinks and greens, which that's not the case. They are just simply, if it goes through, it's going to be like a daily uniform where if you aren't working in the winter pool, you would wear the pinks and greens instead of just always walking around in camouflage uniforms. But we'll see if that ever happens. I still haven't heard any more information about that since the testing kind of went on. What's the best way to get ready for boot camp? Watch my videos. That's I guess that's kind of part of it. Google and stuff, YouTube and stuff, but also make sure that you're in decent shape. Do a lot of running on your own. Do push-ups, sit-ups, all that stuff on your own. You know, get really good at doing push-ups, sit-ups, and running, because that's going to be a key when you do like the physical fitness test and everything. And speaking of physical fitness tests, I'm working on the video. It's a lot of research, but I'm going to be having a video hopefully soon, maybe this week, maybe next week, that compares all the different physical fitness tests in the Air Force, the Army, the Navy, the Coast Guard, all that stuff. So it compares all the physical fitness tests in the different branches of the Army to each other, so you can get an idea of what different branches of the military have to do for a physical fitness test. But really, that's one of the great ways to probably prepare for going to boot camp, is just get in good shape. You know, practice, go on runs, you know, several miles. Don't just go around the block a couple times. Go for like a nice 3, 4, 5 mile run, nice jog. Practice doing a lot of push-ups and sit-ups and all that kind of stuff, so you're well prepared. And then just do a little research. You know, I have a lot of great videos on my channel. There's other, creators out there that have some Army-related content as far as preparing you for basic training, so research that, just that kind of way. But I think physical fitness is probably one of the key ones that I would definitely recommend. And then I have... I don't remember if there's a book on there. I have this new thing that I don't think I've talked about on here, but I have an affiliate thing with Amazon. So in the link of this description and also the main channel of my video, there's an Amazon little link, and I've got a couple of books that are highly recommended for like prep for the Army, for like ASVAB and all sorts of stuff. And if any of those books look appealing to you from that link, then you purchase them. It helps out the channel a little bit, but no pressure, not a big deal if you don't. Otherwise, there's a lot of information online. So either way, let's see. You should make a video about it. Oh, for the boot camp, I sort of do. I have a video that kind of gives you what to expect in basic training. I forget what the name of the title of the video is, but there's a video on my channel that tells you a little bit about what to expect when you join the Army. What was it like at the DMZ? Wait, I lost where'd the question go? I was just reading it, and then it like changed on me. Was it about the DMZ? Wasn't it? Oh, best way, you should make a video about it. Okay, there it goes. What was it like at the DMZ? Sorry, I got the chat got all weird for a second there. It was pretty cool. It was different. You saw North Koreans all the time because you would see them on the other side of the border from you, because I would do a lot of work right there on Conference Row doing stuff. You didn't have a lot of the freedom that like other units would have farther south. So they would get to, on the weekends and off time, just be free to roam around as long as they were back before curfew. Whereas us at the JSA on the DMZ, we didn't have that. We got 140 a pass per month, and that was our free time to be able to go and take off down south and go to Seoul or whatever, and go roam around. But for the most part, it was fun. I liked it at the DMZ. It was definitely entertaining. You felt special because, the people that were at the DMZ couldn't have any kind of Article 15s or any kind of UCMJ action in the past. They had to be tall. They had to be over 6 foot tall. And then even for like the Koreans, it was like a high honor to serve at the JSA. So it was kind of cool. I didn't have to go anything like special training or anything to be able to do it. You had to take a PT test right when you showed up, and if you didn't pass the PT test, they would not keep you. But other than that, it wasn't anything really special other than being tall, not getting in trouble, and be able to pass the PT test. So. Let's see, I lost my place in the chat. Oh, do you play PlayStation 4 occasionally? I have a PlayStation 4. I don't play a whole lot. If you do add me, I could, but I don't play a whole lot. I don't even play a lot of online gaming. I think I got rid of my PlayStation Plus account because I rarely play online. So it was kind of pointless having a PlayStation Plus account when I really don't play online, really that much at all. I think when I did play online, I don't remember what I would play, but I don't do a whole lot of gaming. I have a PlayStation 4 and I like playing video games, but I don't play a lot of video games really that often. I know that I'll be a motor transportation, but I can't decide to go Army or Marines. Do both branches have the same type of motor to drive? Are there different? So you're talking about like for 88 Mike for that transportation side? It's probably very similar. I know like when I went to AIT back in '99 at Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, the Marines would go to the same AIT that the Army guys would. So we'd be training with the Marines and the Marines training with us for AIT. So I would imagine the jobs are very similar. As far as trucks go, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure what the Marines have. I know the Army has some pretty cool ones. They have the Het. I don't know if the Marines have a Het. So I don't know. I'd have to research that and try to figure it out. Or even you can Google it, I'm sure, as far as what trucks, the Marines have compared to the Army. But I don't know. I'm not really sure. I would imagine it's a very similar job, though. Probably pretty close to the same, if not exactly the same. So, check out Matt Ward's channel. He's got some pretty cool fitness stuff. I would definitely say he's got some pretty cool stuff. I've seen a couple of his videos. He's a current soldier, focuses mainly on basic training. Yeah, I've seen he's got a lot of videos on basic training and a lot of fitness videos as well. I know I watched some of like Art Chisel's videos. He's another pretty active Army guy, but a lot of his stuff seems to be medic based. So I mean that's cool if you're in the interest in medic. And there's also other stuff that's not always just centered on that. But I feel like his recent video, was inspired because of mine. I know he's subscribed to me. I'm subscribed to him and everything. I've briefly talked to him in just an exchange in one of my videos on a comment section. I don't really know the guy or anything like that, but I do know, like I said, I do know he's subscribed to me and I'm subscribed to him, and I couldn't help but to notice that one of his latest videos seemed very similar in some ways, and certain things that maybe I left out of my video, he kind of like covers in one of his newest videos. So I was like, did you see my video and get inspired to make something similar to it? I don't know. But if so, cool. Then it's awesome though. Just better information for you guys out there. So, BitExpert, you were probably, okay, BitExpert says, otherwise it sounds kind of weird the way I was about to say it, but BitExpert says, you are probably one of my favorite YouTubers. Well, thank you, BitExpert. You are probably one of my favorite viewers. I don't know. But awesome. I appreciate it. It's kind of crazy to hear when some people say that I'm their favorite YouTuber or whatever, because it's like, I don't know, I've never, only until recently kind of started feeling like a YouTuber. It was weird. Like I was back home on vacation last year, and my nephew, he was big into YouTube. He watches like a lot of Minecraft videos though, and he was like asking me about stuff, and I was telling him that I did stuff on YouTube and all that stuff, and he wants to eventually be a YouTuber, he says, when he grows up, and he wants to make YouTube videos when he's old enough to do it, and he wants to do gaming videos. And one of his friends was hanging out over at my sister's house, and he was like, oh, this is my uncle, he's a YouTuber. And I thought it was kind of crazy. At that time, I only had probably, I want to say, I didn't have that many subscribers back then. I only had maybe like 250 subscribers. I didn't have a lot of subscribers. This craziness that I got going on down here didn't start happening until October of last year. But I went from 200 subscribers to all of a sudden now I'm at like 10,000 in less than a year, just because all of a sudden out of nowhere my video just shot up. But I've been doing YouTube for a very long time, since YouTube was YouTube. I've been making YouTube videos, but it was crazy. But it's kind of funny, kind of hearing myself categorized as a YouTuber, because I didn't really think of it that way, but I'm getting used to it. Maybe I guess I'm a YouTuber. I mean, I make YouTube videos, and I guess I get paid a little bit to do so. So I guess that categorizes me as a YouTuber. I don't know. I always thought of like a YouTuber as somebody famous, and I definitely don't think I'm somebody famous. I'll be amazed at the day when somebody recognizes me on the streets. That is not yet happening, so it'll be pretty crazy when that happens for the very first time ever, when I find a complete stranger on the streets that recognizes me and it's like, hey, are you Christopher Chaos? And I'll be amazed. Let's see. While in the Army, how many countries have you been to? Let's see. I've been to Korea. I've been to Japan, but it was only the airport. So I don't know if that counts or not. Same. I've been to Germany as a civilian before I went to the Army, but while in the Army, I only went to the airport in Germany. What else? Kuwait, Iraq, the airport in Ireland, the airport in Amsterdam. I think that's it. I think it's all the countries I've been to. So, yeah. So, but that's even if you count the ones where I've only been to the airport. If that counts, then there's like 7. But otherwise, Korea, Kuwait, and Iraq, really the only ones I've actually like spent more than a couple of hours in that country, in the military at least. Sorry, Chris, but I got to go. Talk to you later. Well, thanks for hanging out, Silver. I know you're waiting to try to win that awesome Chaos can, but don't worry. I'm not giving it away just yet in this video. That information will be coming soon, hopefully this week or next week, for how people can have a chance to win one of the 2 Chaos cans. So that'll come soon. I just got to finish some of the details with that, and that'll be information soon coming out. Is there a book that I can get to study the stuff I will need to know at basic? There's probably some stuff on that Amazon links. I think I want to say I had something cool on there. Let's see. We'll pull it up. We'll switch over to my high-speed camera over here. Hang on, let me pull it up first. But somewhere's on there. I want to say some different book ones. I don't remember what they were though. Let's switch over to this guy right here. So this is what it looks like if you went to that Amazon link that I have on my channel. There's also a link down in the description as well. And I believe there's like a book thing somewhere's around here. Yeah, so there's some different books around here. Here's a basic training study guide, 751. Some tips. There's some special forces stuff, combatives handbook, ASVAB study, ranger studying, first aid manual, some Army field manual. It has like some training, some physical training guides, as well as this soldiers training publication, which has like some common tasks that a soldier would have to do. So you can find these. These are all like recommended stuff that I've got on here. Some of the stuff I have little captions on that tells you how I use some of these items anyways. But if you happen to buy something from here, then it helps the channel out a little bit. And that's cool. But there is a book here that kind of gives some prep kind of stuff if you're interested in that. Otherwise, I'm trying to work on a book. I want to try to write a book and publish it on Amazon. I just have to get around to starting to write it. I haven't gotten a chance to do that, but I want to eventually do that. Have a little bit more than just my videos. Have maybe a book that maybe people can buy for like $5 or whatever it ends up being, and then people can reference it for some cool stuff. Who knows? So we'll try that out at some point. Have a good one, Chris. I'm going to bed at 8:36. That's early. I'm disappointed. Usually stay up until 2 a.m. and wake up at 6 a.m. Hey, I understand how it goes. Sometimes you're exhausted and you want to go to bed early. Thanks for hanging out even for a little bit. If you always want to check out the rest of this live and see how it went, you can always come back to the replay of the video and check it out, because that always works as well. So whichever, man. I appreciate you just being here to begin with. Hey, Chris, I'm here. Would you rather be a U.S. Air Force pilot or be in the Army Airborne Division? Ooh, I don't know. I wouldn't probably qualify as a pilot. I'm probably too tall. I don't know if they allow people to be over 6 foot tall to try to fit inside the cockpit. And then airborne, I don't know. I don't know if I'm necessarily afraid of heights, but I don't like heights either. So I don't know. So what's up, Richard? Finally got that far down into the chat to see you inside of here. Thanks for joining, man. Of course, I'm awesome. Thanks. Anytime I was in the Springs, I always hoped to run into you. Well, if you're ever back in the Springs, maybe we'll run into you someday. Like I said, I'm still waiting for that moment where I run into somebody that watches my stuff that I don't already know. That'll be kind of a crazy day when that actually does happen. What type of firearms did you handle while in the Army? So you had the M4, the M16, 9mm, the Beretta 9mm, the AT4 rocket launcher, 240 Bravo, the 50 cal, the saw, which is an older kind of weapon that they don't really use much anymore. I don't know if there's anything else. That might be all of everything. I can't remember anything else other than those ones. Those are at least the main ones, at least. I don't know if there's anything else. Next time you get on live after today, I'm gonna super chat you. Well, either way, thank you. You don't have to do it, but I always appreciate it. It's always awesome if when people do, and I always like it. I seen that YouTube has a cool new feature that they're starting to roll out to certain people, the sponsorship thing. It was available for gaming channels, and now they're going to start making it available for other channels as well. So like, I think it's like you hit the sponsor button and that makes it to where you pay, I think $4.99 a month. And then whatever that creator designates as that kind of special sponsorship perks, those are available to you. And I think that sounds kind of interesting. It'd be cool to get to that point to where I get that little sponsor button and then maybe do something cool, like maybe do, I obviously wouldn't want to take away from what I currently do, so that would be unfair, but I would want to add on to it and maybe do something special for those people that did want to spend like $4.99 a month for some kind of special, you know, Chaos perks or whatever. Maybe do a special Chaos Live where I would still do these normal Chaos Lives, but maybe that Chaos Live would always have a guest. And so those versions would always have a guest star or guest veteran or active duty person on there to be able to kind of, you know, give another perspective. And then maybe something else too. I think you can also do special icons for people who comment on your videos. So it'd be cool to kind of do like a chaos rank structure. So based on maybe how long you've been a sponsor for the Christopher Chaos channel, maybe determines your rank. So like, you know, 1 month is a private, 2 months is a private first class, and keep on going up. And then kind of like Call of Duty, where you'll go through all the enlisted and then eventually into the officers. And so if you saw somebody who was, you know, a 5-star general, you know, on the Chaos channel leaving comments or whatever, and that means they've been, you know, a sponsor for a long time to be able to earn that. So I think that'd be kind of cool if that works that same way. It'd be kind of a cool little feature. But super chats are still pretty cool too. I appreciate it. I wish they just had better like perks for you, otherwise, other than just highlighting your chat thing. That's probably good for like more popular channels that get a lot of, you know, chat in there to make them stand out a little bit better. But at this point, it's just, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't really do any benefit that much for you. I mean, it just benefits me a little bit. It's pretty cool. This is a cool honor, but otherwise it doesn't really, you know, give you any special perks by leaving a super chat. Let's see. I lost where I was at on the chat. Let me catch up to where that was. What do you currently do as a career? Currently, I'm an instructor. There is a system that the Army uses called JCR, which they use for tracking allies and everything, and tracking the battlefield, and I teach soldiers how to use JCR. So I teach them how to do that. We're currently, pretty much almost every week, we're doing a class. This week I'm teaching a class right now of like 7 soldiers that I'm teaching right now that are learning how to use JCR. So that's what I do. I'm an instructor on the Army base Fort Carson. Oh yeah, here's someone commented about it. Thank you, BitExpert. Teaching to use GPS-like systems. And it's kind of basically what it's like. It's like a GPS tracking thing, but you can do a lot of messaging and other little high-speed stuff, and that's what I do. I teach soldiers how to use that. Mostly. I mean, there's other jobs that I do too, with simulations and other training things, but my primary job is teaching people how to use the system called JCR. I gotta go, but thank you for answering all of my questions. 9:45 here, and I have my last senior year final tomorrow. Ooh, good luck on that final. Have a great night. Thanks. Good luck on the final. Would you rather be Delta or SEAL? Probably Delta, because SEAL is a lot of water stuff, and I'm not a big fan of water. I can swim and everything, but some of the training they go through is like pretty crazy, with like practically drowning to be able to know what that feels like and all that kind of craziness. So I don't think I would like that. Delta probably wouldn't be, you know, walk in the park either, but at least I wouldn't hopefully have to like see what it feels like to drown. I don't know. I mean, it could suck just as bad. I don't know, but I would probably Delta, because it's also Army. So, and SEAL is Navy. What's up, Ghost 76? How's it going? Aren't you, was it a week? I think you said you were leaving, taking off pretty soon. Let's see. I would have liked to have the specialist class rank, spec 4, spec 5, etc. Or do you prefer just specialist? Oh, would you have liked? No, I think it makes it way too complicated having those spec 4 and spec 5 kind of things like they used to have back in the day. It's just, I think it's a little bit less complicated just having simply E4 specialist. I mean, you already have E4 specialist or E4 corporal, but I think it just makes it easier and less complicates things. So I probably prefer to do it that way. Richard Hansen, I'd love to be one of your guests. Well, you probably would be one of them, I'm sure. I'm sure I would probably Skype you or something if we did like that special kind of thing. Or who knows? Maybe I'll end up recruiting you for that MOS series that I talked about at the beginning of the video. You may have missed that, but once I kind of get more details on how I want to do that, do something, where maybe I have you as a guest to explain about your job in the military. I forget what you said your MOS was, but let's come back to what else we have. Okay, Chaos Mail. I'll get to that too, since I haven't gotten to that as well. So I have a Chaos mailbox type of thing. I mostly did it for legitimacy, to where, there's certain things that I'm doing now with my channel, and I don't want to give out my personal address for those types of engagements and different things. So I thought it was best to have some kind of like an official P.O. box type of thing where I can receive that mail without giving out my actual personal address, kind of a thing. So I have one now. I have a P.O. box. It is located right here. So if you would like to send something, awesome. If not, it's not a big deal. It's like I said, it's mainly for logistic purposes that I have it. But at the same time, I figured I might as well make use of it. So you don't have to try to hurry up and write it down now. You can always come back to the the live version or the post live version of this, and check it out. Or however you kind of want to do it. I feel like the microphone's really high. Sorry if I've been blowing you guys out. I noticed that the meters are really high, but we'll go and have this available. It's also available down in the description down below as well. Am I super loud? I feel like I don't know which way the volume needs to go. Can you come down this way? Where's the gain at? The gain's over here. Sorry if I've been really super loud with you guys. I don't know what the deal is, but I noticed that the volume on the Yeti seems really loud. But anyways, sorry, back to going off topic here. But this will be available in the description. It's also available on my on my Instagram. Can't think of the word. So either way, you can check it out there. You can come back to the live stream after it's processed and be able to copy down from there. Either way, but that's the official Chaos Mail thing. If you guys want to send me a letter, cool. If you're a veteran, you want to send me some kind of memorabilia, cool. Maybe I'll have a special wall for like some memorabilia once I get a better set that I can showcase things from awesome other veterans that they want to send me, maybe their old unit patch or whatever the case might be or whatever. But we'll see. So that's the official one. Like I said, you don't have to rewind the video to go back to it unless this is the post live thing. It'll also be available down in the description, and I'll start posting it on future videos as well down in the description as well. So that'll be available in there. I guess on that same note, going back to that, that's also how you can score a free sticker. If you want one of these cool Chaos stickers, I got some Chaos stickers that I will hook while limited supplies are last, kind of thing. I'll hook you up with. All you got to do is send me a self-addressed envelope to that address that's in there. This guy that's back over here. You send a self-addressed envelope to there, and maybe a little short message saying, "Hey, I want a Chaos sticker." That way I know what the heck this letter is for and what this envelope is for. Then I will, shoot you a Chaos sticker while I still have them. If this ends up being a really popular thing and I get a crap ton of you guys that want a Chaos sticker, then I might just have to order more stickers and figure out something to try to hook you guys up with. But for the most part, if you send me a self-addressed envelope, then I will hook you up with a Chaos sticker. No problems. So I guess it's sort of free. I mean, you have to pay for postage. But if you just put your address on an envelope, stick inside of an envelope to send to there, I will put a Chaos sticker in there, send it back to you. All right? Only one per person. Because I only have probably about maybe 30 of these left. So I don't know. Those could either go really quick or those 30 could last like forever. I don't know. It depends on how many of you out there actually really want a Chaos sticker, I guess. So, let's see, asking... you handle those weapons as the 88 mic. How? Most of it was in training. You'll as a 88 mic, you still do things like gun trucks. So like the 50 cal and the 240 Bravo are usually weapon systems that are still on a gun truck, and a lot of times you still do like dual jobs as a gun truck, gunner. So you could still handle those in that kind of way. And then some of the other ones were in training. Like for example, the AT4 was in training. The SAW was in training. Your M4 and your M16 are your primary weapons, so you have to qualify with those. When I was in Korea, you had the option to qualify with the 9mm, so I went ahead and did it. So some of the stuff is in training, but 88 mics do more than just drive trucks. Sometimes you're the gunner for a gun truck, so that kind of happens sometimes. What do you think of JROTC and ROTC? Have you been a Naval Junior ROTC unit for the past 3 years? And I have really enjoyed it. Oh, so what I think about them, I think they're great ways for, learning about the military. JROTC, while you're in high school and everything. ROTC is at college level, so I mean that's pretty much like, hey, I'm going to be an officer, and I want to be an officer, so I think that'll be good for that kind of a thing. It's a little bit more advanced than obviously JROTC, but yeah, I think those are great opportunities to be able to learn about the Army and prepare for the Army and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, Richard would be like a 20-star general. So it wouldn't. Oh, so you're talking about with the perks. If I had that for that subscriber thing for the sponsor kind of a thing where you could build it up. It'd be nice if I could. Like, I don't know. We'll see how it ends up working, but I don't know if I'd be able to like retrograde or retro promote people who have been longtime subscribers on the channel to higher rank to kind of get that benefit. If that is an option, yeah, there would be some of you guys that I would automatically promote to a higher rank just because you've been on this channel for a while. Richard being one of the many that are, or not many, but a handful of people that have been a long time subscriber. So that's awesome. But yeah, if that ends up being an option, some of you will get come in as a higher rank than the new subscriber, new sponsors, if that is how it kind of works, if I ever get that feature available to me. So Ghost 76 next week, you're off to training, so good luck to you. If I don't get a chance to do another live before you take off, good luck to you. You'll have to keep me updated as how basic training, AIT went and all that kind of stuff. You won't probably get a chance to get online in basic, but you might at a later point in AIT. I don't know, but hopefully you get to check out and keep everybody up to date as far as how your basic went or is going if you get a chance during basic, but most likely not during basic, but maybe after. If you could, would you own and drive a Humvee? Okay, so if you're talking about the real Army Humvees, no, they're crappy. They're not very good. I've driven many times, driven a Humvee. Obviously, the civilian one's a little bit better. Those, actual H3s and all that stuff, H2s and everything, a little bit better. Gas guzzlers for sure. But the actual Humvee that you have in the Army, I remember you get that thing up to like 45, 50 miles an hour and that thing starts shaking like crazy and you're afraid the wheels are going to fall off. The real ones are not great for like high speeds, like driving on the freeway. They're good for like lower speeds and going off-road and all that kind of stuff. And they also suck a lot of gas too. So I wouldn't want a real deal Humvee. That'd be horrible. You were in 88 November. That's right. I know you did something in the 88 series. I thought it was something like that. So that might be a good MOS kind of showcase and we'll have Richard talk about what it was like being in 88 November if I get around to being able to do that series once I get it all hashed out and all that stuff. If I could, I would try to become a 5-star general of chaos. That'd be awesome. Like I said, if it works that way, to where I can set it up with perks and all that cool stuff, if I even get that ability to be able to do that kind of sponsor thing, then I'd like to have it that way to where you can see who the people are that have been long-time sponsors, kind of a thing, and then also be able to create awesome content for those people, extra content, not take away from anything that you normally get, but add some kind of extra better content, or not really better, but just different, I guess, because that's kind of crappy. It's not like I'm not putting a lot of effort into the current stuff. Richard, you be a Sergeant P. Is that every time you talking about your current rank or what you were before you got out? But he was talking about the perks for that subscriber kind of thing, if I was able to do all that kind of cool stuff. Getting anxious as time draws near, working out and running a lot. That's good. It'll be good to kind of get you in shape. You guys definitely got to do a lot of running and push-ups and sit-ups and all that craziness to kind of stay in shape and all that stuff. So, when did you fall in love with flat bill hats? I don't know, a long time ago. It was like, I remember like the main reason I liked flat bill style hats was I used to, like, maybe back in like the early 2000s, watch a lot of like metal militia and motocross stuff, and all those metal militia and motocross guys would wear flat bill hats, and I always thought that was kind of cool. I know there's some people that give you crap about however you dress or the way you wear a hat and all that kind of stuff like that, and I've seen some people that are just being dumb and making comments about it being a rapper style and stuff like that, and how stupid it is that I have a flat bill hat and I'm white and it's a rapper thing, which it's not. It's a motocross kind of thing. I don't know if it's originally a motocross thing, but I always got into it way back in the early 2000s when I was really big into watching freestyle motocross and watching like guys like Twitch and Brian Deegan and those guys from the metal militia doing all these crazy stunts. And every time you'd always see them doing interviews, they'd always have like these cool flat bill hats. And I was like, that's a cool style. So I kind of got into it back then, of liking flat bill style hats. So it's not a rapper thing, because I don't listen to rap. I listen to, nothing against rap if you love rap, whatever, but I listen to hardcore heavy metal. But I always thought it was cool from the motocross days. I'll be there the next Thursday. I'm leaving there for others from our DEP unit. All right. Well, good luck to you, Ghost 76. Like I said, if you had a chance, keep us updated. Jared asks, active duty versus reserve, your opinion. I guess it depends. If you don't have some kind of really great career already lined up and you still, you just want to get some good experience, then active is great. But if you have some kind of great career that you're doing on a day-to-day basis, but you also want to add in that Army life, then reserves would probably be pretty good, because you could still keep your day-to-day job. And then, every other weekend, however it works, the 2 weeks a year kind of a thing, go and do the reserve training and still have that kind of status, of getting that experience of being in the military and doing that kind of lifestyle and all that stuff. So I think it just depends on the situation. I liked active duty. It was fine. I wouldn't want to do reserves now, obviously, but yeah, I think it just depends. If you're busy with your day-to-day job and you have a good current career, then maybe reserves are best for you. But if you're just wanting to get that full-on Army experience, then active duty is the way to go. Did you have relatives in the service before you joined, or are you the first in your family to join? I want to say, I think my grandfather on my dad's side, I think he was in the Navy. I believe my uncle, my sister's husband, or not my sister's husband, my aunt's from my dad's sister, her husband, he was in the Army. And I want to say my uncle, which would be my mom's brother, I think he was in the military. I don't remember what branch, but nothing I really saw. Like those, when they were in the military, it was all like before I was born. So it wasn't anything I really got to experience. So I didn't really have anybody in my family that was like currently in the military, like while I was alive. I was kind of, I guess, the first in that aspect. And then my niece joined after she graduated high school. She joined the Air Force. But Army-wise, there wasn't really anybody in the military when I was growing up for me to witness. So I just always heard stories later about how I think my grandfather was in the Navy and stuff. So, would you ever command a battleship? Wait, I lost the. Would you ever command a battleship if given the option? Probably not. I would not be a good battleship commander, since I don't know how the inner workings of a battleship work. I would be horrible. Just like I would be a horrible president, because I don't know how any of that stuff works and all that kind of stuff. So I'm pretty sure I'd be pretty bad at it. See you later. Have a good one. Well, thank you, Bit Expert, for hanging out and joining us for this Chaos Live. See you next time, hopefully. No judgment about the hat. I was simply curious. Well, awesome. I know some people are weird about styles and stuff like that. They want to judge other people because they like to wear a hat a certain way. We like to wear certain T-shirts or certain pants or accessories, or I don't know, whatever. I think it's stupid sometimes when I see it. Usually a lot of times if I see someone just being stupid in the comment section and they watch the whole video that I'm explaining about Army stuff and what they have to say in the comments is about something I'm wearing, then I don't think you're the type of person that really needs to be watching my content. If you're going to be that judgmental because I have a flat billed hat and I like to have my ears tucked into it, and that's because I like them big. I like the hats to be kind of large, and if I they usually end up doing it naturally, but if I don't, then, they're going to look weird because I like having it down low and it's going to look all funky. So that's why they're usually tucked in like that. It's just because I like the flat bill hats to be really large. It's just more comfortable that way. I don't know. But yeah, it always cracks me up. It's like, why do you be so judgmental on my style, man? Now you should ban the people for that, because you're obviously clearly not someone who's interested in the military. You're just here to troll on my fashion sense or fashion style or whatever. I was a Sergeant P when I got out, and I worked in MCTs and all the way up to battalion and brigade, and I was on my way to working in the schoolhouse. That would have been probably pretty cool. By the way, my wife is going back into the Army Reserves. Ugh, good luck. Hopefully it's, works out good. I would definitely not want to go back in the military, but each person's different, and maybe if you had a great job that you enjoyed, then maybe you're different. I was just tired of that lifestyle, so I got out. So I'll see if I can send a text from basic, but I doubt it. My recruiter said to not make my drill sergeants upset with trying to get online. Yeah, during basic, I know, like when I was in basic, the internet wasn't that big of a thing yet. It was, becoming a bigger thing, but you definitely couldn't do any kind of online access back then. And I'm pretty sure you still can't now. Maybe once you get to AIT, you'll have a little bit more access, a little more freedom, maybe with your phone, and then you can get on the internet with your phone. Probably not at first in AIT, but later, maybe after a couple of weeks of being in AIT, you get a little bit more privileges. So maybe then, who knows? Do you ever wish you were a general? No. I mean, maybe for the pay, but for the responsibility, no, it's a lot of responsibility. Any advice for going 35 Foxtrot plus option 40? That was 35 Foxtrot. I don't even remember what 35 Foxtrot is. I have to Google it real quick. Let's see. 35 Foxtrot MOS. Intelligence analyst. I don't know if I don't really have much experience with that. But I've worked with Intel guys, but I don't really have a whole lot of like experience as far as like giving you good advice for that. You're going to do that plus option 40 to go. I'm getting so I talk about so many different ones. I start getting mixed up. Is that the airborne option? Or is that the Ranger option? Option 40 is Ranger option, right? But I don't really know a whole lot about the Intel side, so I wouldn't really have any good advice to be able to give you on the Intel side of that stuff. Yeah, Ghost, please don't anger your drill sergeants. It would be bad. Yeah, you don't want to stand out too much to where they pick on you, and you definitely want to make them angry. Otherwise, you'll be doing a lot of extra junk that you don't need to be doing. So that's always bad to make them mad or upset them in any way. Have you been to Arlington Cemetery? No. I think it'd be a pretty cool place to visit though. But I've never experienced that. Never been there to experience Arlington. I've got a couple of friends and stuff that have been there. Said it's a really cool experience just to kind of be there and witness all of that stuff that's there. But no, never been there. Maybe someday. Did you ever consider joining another branch of the military before enlisting? Yeah, I actually was going to join the Air Force. I wanted to be a mechanic before I joined, and I was going to join the Air Force because it seemed like the Air Force was, I don't know, a little bit more cushier, a little bit easier, not so combat related, and when I just wanted to get some experience with working on vehicles, and then eventually be a mechanic myself outside of the military. But the Army recruiter was a lot more persistent than the Air Force recruiter was. And then because I figured that after I started thinking about it, I felt like the Army would be better for being a mechanic because they work with a lot more wheeled vehicles. So I ended up going Army, which I didn't end up even being a mechanic in the first place, but I ended up being a truck driver, 88 Mike. But I was originally considering Air Force. So yeah, intelligence analyst, Ranger. Yeah. So for the Ranger part, the only advice I could probably give you is definitely get in really good shape. Do a lot of road marches, maybe some weighted vests or rucksacks or backpacks, hiking backpacks, and go on long distances to get in really good shape, because that's really what it's going to take to get through RASP, to get into the 75th Ranger Regiment, is to be in really good shape. So that you can get through all the kind of mental and physical testing that they're going to do. But as far as the intelligence part, I really don't have any good advice for that, because I've worked with some Intel guys, but I don't really know enough to be able to give any kind of good advice. And then Andrew's given some more basic training advice to Ghost 76, Ghost 76. Don't make your drill sergeants mad, or else you will be leaving in a personal full metal jacket scenario. Yeah, no, you don't want to get them all upset. They'll smoke the hell out of you. I found it funny when my school said JROTC was an experience when their spending was expensive. Was too expensive when they're spending $111 million on a new building. That's crazy. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, like my high school didn't have a JROTC, so I didn't even have that option to go through JROTC when I was in high school. I don't know if they do now. I don't think so. I'm from a real small town called Bishop in California. And it's a real small town. So we only have one high school inside there, one middle school, one elementary school. So you don't have a lot of options to go to different schools. And my graduating class was 100 people. But they didn't have a JROTC program back then. I don't know if they do now. I don't know. But I would be surprised if they did actually have any kind of JROTC program. But yeah, that's kind of crazy that it's too expensive. Thanks anyways, man. I really appreciate you and your videos. I've learned a lot. Well, awesome. Thank you. I appreciate you coming by and hanging out for Chaos Live and watching my videos. My recruiter told me that making your drill sergeant mad could cause them to make them smoke you, yes, which is, wearing the hell out of you, wearing you out. But I told them that it's not a problem since I don't have the habit of lighting up anyhow. So it's not talking about smoking you as in smoking cigarettes or anything like that. That's the smoking you term is, basically wearing you out, making you do a lot of exercises, a lot of push-ups, running, whatever kind of creative exercises they can come up with until you were just simply exhausted. But yeah, I'm sure your recruiter got to get a little laugh out of that, kind of sarcasm type of thing. I did a video on another YouTube channel that I used to do where I had people try to give people who didn't serve in the military try to give their thoughts on like a phrase like that. Like I would say, getting smoked, and they would try to think of what that means. Someone who wasn't in the military, and some of the reactions were pretty funny. And I thought about doing another version of that on this channel for all you guys to kind of see some of that kind of lingo and how other people might interpret that. So I'll probably work on that eventually soon, as well as I was going to do one with people trying out MREs. MREs that from people that never served in the military, who've never had an MRE before. So I still need to work on. There's several other ideas that I have of videos that I want to do that I still have to work on to give you guys some cool content. So that'll come at some point in time. I think I've covered all the topics. MOS Showcase, kind of a series I might work on soon, showcasing different MOSs. I have the Chaos Mail. Again, that's located here, but you don't have to try to hurry up and write it down there because it's also located down in the description down below on my Instagram. And I need to probably put it somewhere on my website too, but we'll get something on there. Free sticker. If you want one of these free stickers while supplies last, all you got to do is send me a self-addressed envelope to that mailing address that you had back here, and I will throw one of these stickers in an envelope for you, probably with a little message. I got cool stationery that I got to use for something. So I have this cool stationery that maybe I'll write a little personal note to you, and send the sticker in there with you. So I got this cool stationery from Vistaprint that I got to use in some way. So I'll throw that in there as well, and you can get some cool stuff. So yeah, I think that's most of the stuff that's for today in this episode of Chaos Live. We're coming up to the hour mark anyways. So I'll get through a couple questions if we have them. Otherwise, then we'll get out of here soon. What was your favorite cadence to sing or run or march in marches? I don't know. I don't know if I had. I always felt weird doing cadences and running and stuff like that. I thought it was kind of weird singing because I feel like you're just singing and that's kind of what it's like. So I don't know if I had a favorite one. I always felt weird. I usually fake it. Usually we're doing running cadences or even marching cadences. I just lip sing it, I guess, while everybody else is saying it, because I always felt weird about cadences. I didn't really like it. I didn't like doing cadences, so I probably don't really have a favorite, probably. Your caliper cadences was better than what my cadets had to sing, which literally sounded like it came from a Barney video. That's how some of them are. Some of them sound like they're, straight out of some kind of like children's learning educational thing. And then you have some that are a little bit more graphic. The Army's, I don't know, I guess it depends, but in some cases lightening up on some of that kind of stuff. So it's kind of funny, but yeah. So I think that'll close out this episode. Let's come back. Actually, where's this guy? So I think that'll conclude this episode. I appreciate any of you guys, all of you guys that came and joined for the live version of this, and any of you who came back for the post version. If I didn't get to your comments, maybe I missed it, or you're watching this after it was live, just leave some comments down below, and I'll try to get to some of your questions if you have some. Like I said, that address for Chaos Mail is down there in the description if you want to check that out. If you want to send me a self-addressed envelope, I'll send you back a Chaos sticker. If you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you want to make sure to get alerts, make sure to hit that bell that you get alerts when I'm live, because I don't always schedule. Like this one wasn't scheduled. It was just a random thing that I had time for. So a lot of times that's the best way to catch some of the Chaos Live episodes. And if you didn't already hit that thumbs up button, you enjoyed watching this live stream, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. I always love to see that interaction from you guys. But thanks for hanging out. You guys are awesome. You guys are rule. I'm still really thankful for all of you guys. I'm now almost, I'm over. I'm like 10,500 subscribers or something like that. So it's awesome. I love that I'm still growing. You guys still come back and interact with me and help out. I'm glad I'm helping you out, towards an Army career or just your general curiosity, all that stuff. But thanks for hanging out. I'll see you guys next time. See ya.